Welcome to UrbanHood, your learning platform. Urban Food Alliance is a 501c nonprofit which reaches out to the needy and the homeless who need warm, fresh cooked, nutritional meals. Urban Food Alliance services the needy in our neighborhoods. Urban Food Alliance works in conjunction with UrbanHood and Speak EQ. UrbanHood is a free learning platform to promote personal development and financial awareness. We simply ask our visitors and members to make a donation to Urban Food Alliance if they are gaining from the knowledge provided. Speak EQ offers classes at low cost and donates the profits from those classes to Urban Food Alliance. Our mission is educating families to build and preserve capital. Our vision is that all families deserve happiness and financial freedom.
Lines of people formed outside of this New Jersey restaurant today. Khan Baba of Franklin Park offers free meals to families every Friday during lunchtime. The response from the community has been overwhelming.
I think it's great because there's a lot of people that are not working and we're all suffering. You know, we have kids, grandkids.
It's very simple. You walk up, they ask for your name, address, and phone number. They asked me how many children I had, and they gave us some little goodies, some snacks for the kids.
Today I'm seeing an enormous amount of people that need help, and it's really it's sad. But we are very happy to help in any way that we can.
The Urban Food Alliance to reduce starvation in local neighborhoods.
And what I see, the Spanish community, they don't get nothing. So I was thinking to help them out because mostly they work in the restaurant business and they lost their job.
In the state of New Jersey, 1 out of 7 people sleep hungry. That's when I said, look, if you look around, your neighbors can go hungry.
Solely is not financial advice. I myself, nor UFA or anyone for that matter, is liable for any of your decisions, for any of your investment decisions. You guys take full responsibility and liability and blame for anything that obviously you guys do. Use information at your own risk. Once again, educational purposes only, right? So let's kind of get started here. First thing I want to look at is if there's any specific news coming out this week, right? As far as my concern goes, right, I mean, I'm not really looking at anything significant so far. I think that what we're seeing is the main thing, as far as news goes is, just about specific sectors where we're seeing cruise lines voluntarily spending all trips out of U.S. ports until September 15. So, CCL, RCL, and there's many other cruise line stocks that I can't remember off the top of my head right now. Norwegian Cruise Line, there's another one, that are going to, I think, take a hit open Monday just because a lot of people are looking to, kind of see, we might expect a sell-off to happen, right? That's my assumption. But we also have to keep in mind that, this might be a chance for us to buy some stock in these companies long-term, right? I'm going to get into the technicals of this as well, right? Another thing is for Apple, right? Apple says they're going to reclose some of their stores in Florida and many other states due to COVID. So there's still fear, there's another COVID that can potentially happen. I think a lot of people are still fearful of that in that sense, right? But, this is something that can affect the Apple stock as well, right? And I think that since Apple is one of the most heavily weighted stocks within the S&P, I think that that's also going to take a hit, right? If Apple begins to dip in the morning, right? So that's kind of it as far as news goes. And let me see if there's anything else on my radar. I think China's central bank announces decision on interest rates on June 22nd, which is actually, June 21st, I'm sorry. They should do it today. So let's kind of see how that pans out as far as the market goes. And earning-wise, I don't really see anything on my radar as far as earnings. What I am looking at is, I think, Nike. They report next Friday, so that might be something we can take a look at as well. I haven't really looked into the charts for Nike, but that's something that we can definitely take a look at, right? So, I mean, let's kind of see what exactly is playing out this week. First things first, let's focus on the futures, what's really going on here. Futures are green, actually. The E-mini futures, this is what I stick to. What we're seeing is that it's obviously, this is the daily chart. We've been seeing a nice rally. Now, recently, obviously, we did see some pullbacks. I think what we're seeing is a potential H pattern that can form. I think that if we do get some negative news, we're going to hit this 2984 level, and then it's going to continue to bounce to the upside. I don't think the market is going to come down. That's just my personal bias. But once again, I don't think that the market also has any specific direction. The RSI is currently, mid-valued. It can go up, it can go down. No one really knows exactly what's going to happen. So that's kind of what the E-mini futures are doing right now. They did open up a little green. But like what she said, you can't really base off anything right now. You have to wait till the market opens. You have to wait till, 9 a.m. We have to wait till 7 a.m. if there's anything that happens overnight, right? Many times I've seen futures down 200 points and then the next it's up, right? So that's something to keep in mind. Now, a few stocks, right? I already have some here. As you guys can see that I'm going to be looking at is the first one is, let's take a look at Facebook, right? Let's see what Facebook is doing. Facebook is something that I've been looking at for quite some time, right? I mean, Facebook is one of those stocks that's consolidating, right? It's having a hard time breaking out of this supply area right here, this general 240-ish area. If it breaks above this, I think the stock can see some beautiful upside, and the reason why is because it's been rejected once, twice, and 3 times, right? So if we get a breakout of 241, I think it has some more room to the upside. But as far as it's currently looking right now, I think that it's consolidated last week between 231 and 237. We got a nice push up, and then we kind of got a pullback. So let's kind of see what it does here. I mean, I think that if we can get some good news in the market and the market pushes up, Facebook will follow. But if it plays to the downside, I think below 234 has room to 231. Another stock on my radar this week is Apple. Like I said, with also keeping in mind the current news that it has going on, Apple has also been forming some nice trend lines. As you can see, this right here is a nice trend line. Apple, I think if it breaks below this is my Fibonacci retracement, by the way. Well, it's not. This is just the reliable trend line. I'm sorry. But yeah, I think that there's also some potential move that I can make, as you guys can see here. It touched this 100-day moving average, and it was aggressively pushed back up, right? So if you take a look, this was after market, so it might not be as significant. I mean, this is only 800,000 volume, but let's kind of see what it does, right? If anything, if we can get a nice little squeeze out of this, if it breaks above 355, right? I mean, it's having a hard time breaking this once, twice, thrice, 3 times, sorry. But it's also respecting this trend line. So if we get a break below this trend line, I think we're going to see some downside. I think we're going to use this 100-day moving average as support, right? That's pretty much it for Apple, right? But like I said, just like Facebook, it has been being resisted around this 355, just like Facebook has a level of resistance right now that it's on a hard time break. If we can get a nice push to the upside, I think we can definitely see some nice breakout to the upside as far as Apple goes, right? Another one I want to look at is Amazon. So Amazon is one of the stocks I'm looking to trade this week. Their premiums are a little expensive, so you have to be a little careful. And if you cannot tolerate the risks of entering a trade with Amazon, just give it a second. There it is. Yeah, I mean, if you take a look here, above 2687, I think it has room to 2670, above 2670. I think it might even retest its highs this upcoming week, right? This is something that I'm looking at. Moving averages are trading up. Even though the RSI is a little closer to the overvalued, it's kind of still in that mid-value range. So once again, everything just like last week is a little bit neutral. We'd have to wait till Monday to really see what's going to happen, right? Netflix. So most of these large cap stocks, right, these FANG stocks, they're having some hard time breaking a level of resistance. And it's sort of consolidating, right? So that 453.86, right around this area seems to be some strong level of resistance. We got to break above that. I think that is new highs, if I'm not mistaken, or no. So this right here is the highest that it's ever been, for 458.97. I think that's definitely going to get tested this week if we can get a breakout to the upside for Netflix. But yeah, that's pretty much it for Netflix. Now, I have a number of other stocks here. Yeah. the SPY, right? So for those of you that are not familiar, SPY is the ETF that measures the market. Spiders, everyone should be familiar with this, right? Right off the bat, right? I mean, I think this 304 level seems to be some strong level of support on the Fibonacci level, as well as my Andrews pitchfork, right? These are all technical indicators. I think that we are still in a general uptrend, but I think there's still some room to the downside, right? So we have to be a little careful. I think that if we can break above this Andrews pitchfork onto the upside, we would need some good news for that. But as far as my technicals go right now, I think that if we break below 304, we can hit 298. The 300 overall is the key level that it has right here. Below 300, I think it has room to 298. Below 298 has room to 292. So that's something we have to keep in mind. Now, another stock is Tesla, right? Everyone's favorite, Tesla, right? I mean, Tesla is one of those stocks I think that's very volatile. It either makes you a lot of money or loses you a lot of money, right? So right off the bat, right, Tesla's kind of in this trend line that it's resisting, right? I mean, it's having a hard time break, and what I want to see is if they can potentially break above this and make a strong move to the upside, right? And the reason why is because if you look at Tesla, this is kind of something similar that happened, right? We saw a nice rally, then we got an aggressive push to the downside, and then we saw some consolidation, and then we got a huge move to almost $1,000, and now there's kind of something similar, right? We see a huge move to the upside, we see a sell-off, and then all of a sudden a lot of people buy the dip, right? This is kind of something that happened last time, right? We saw that the stock made new highs, a lot of people bought the dip, right? People built a position, stock made new highs. That's that, right? And then we also have right here something similar happening. I think this indicates that a lot of people bought the dip, this specific candlestick, right? And then now we're just seeing some consolidation happen. If we can continue to see this consolidation play out, we might see some more upside here for Tesla, right? I mean, Tesla's one of the stocks I don't really play to the downside, but it's currently in new territory. I mean, $1,000 is insane, right? I mean, this thing is sitting at almost $200 about a year ago, so that's pretty insane. Another stock that I have here is Roku. Roku, as you guys can see, has been respecting this trend line, right? This is the daily chart. I think I'm bullish on Roku this week. I think that it's going to gap up actually, and the reason why is based on my technicals. I think that it's going to become a little overvalued on the RSI, but that's when exactly we're going to sell, right? I think it's going to touch around the 70 value on the RSI, and is going to make some move to the upside, right? All in all, right? I mean, first things first, we see this huge trend line that is respecting, touched once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. And then we did see some rejection here, but I think that the recent if you're not muted, please mute yourself. Thank you. If we take a look here, right above 130, I think the main resistance I'm looking at this was 137. Above 137, I think Roku has room to 144. Above 144, I think it has room to 150, right? So I think one thing you have to keep in mind with Roku is kind of like Boeing, right? And how it's been reacting recently, right? It'll consolidate for a long time, and then boom, it'll fall to the downside. Now what we're seeing is some consolidation happen where stock has, doesn't really have any specific direction, but it's respecting a specific line, right? And now it's also respecting the line going this way. So this is in and of itself kind of a triangle pattern that we're looking at here. And if I think we can get a nice push over here, then I think these are the key levels that I'd be looking at for it to break, and these would be our price targets. So CCL, right? So this is another one that I wanted you to touch base on. As you can see here, right? I mean, CCL has been, and another thing with Roku, I think I spoke about this in my last, my stock market talk, right? I said that we were seeing some head and shoulders, right? And I said we could see some upside. And on the break of 115 is where I played some calls, and then I think Mushi signaled calls for next week for this specific stock. But yeah, Roku, I think, is going to make some nice movement. Let's kind of see how it plays out. So CCL, I think, does have some room to the downside. For breaks below 16, I think it's definitely going to hang out around this 15 area, nothing lower than that. But keep in mind, it does need to fill a gap now that I look at it around 1460. So it's more or less around that $15 range. So let's kind of see how it plays out around that range, but I think that'd be a good time to get in on CCL for a long term. One last one I have is Microsoft. I haven't been really trading Microsoft, but I think a lot of people requested, so I thought I'd add it here. But what we're seeing is, I think Microsoft has been breaking below certain moving averages on the 1 hour chart. 193 seems to be some strong support. The 194 area, break below 194, I think there's room to 191. Below 191, I think it kind of has this emptiness right here, and it has room all the way down to 184. So keep that in mind. Obviously, I think Microsoft might be holding their specific key levels, but currently, like I said, I'm a little bit neutral on the market. Usually, I can, gauge a specific direction. Like, okay, I'm a little bit more bullish, I'm a little bit more bearish, but now I'm just neutral. Like, I'm sitting on the sideline and simply waiting for a specific clear direction that we can all see. Now, let's see. If we take a look, I think that's pretty much all I have for the tickers that are on my watch list for this week. Now, before you guys start writing tickers in the chat box and I take a look at it, I think Mushi, if you want to step in, obviously you wanted a few minutes.
Thank you, Dilawar. Yeah, if you can stop sharing and then you can take a look at the ticker, what people are casting, and then pick about five to six, as many you can, but at least see if we can have five to six of them to go over. And I want to let you guys know that at the end of the day, it's Sunday and so many things happen over the weekend, and Friday market closed in the positive at the end of the day. However, we do not know what's going to happen based on the future. Is not enough time. We only started about 3 hours. 3 hours is not giving you enough direction. Which direction market going to go? Anything could happen. So be ready. That's why we are recommending you, please do join us, and we shared a link also on our YouTube. Just take a look at that video, how we do it, and the website. If somebody or one of the volunteers can share the website of our website. If you are not, you have not visited our website, please do visit. This is what I want to share. I know that today we have a bunch of people new joiners. So guys, welcome. This is UrbanHood Weekly Market Talk. I am with UrbanHood, and it's a non-profit organization, and it's run by volunteers. If you have not visited, again, just visit our website. This is the lower covered. One share. Did you know that what type of investor or the trader are you? You have to think of yourself, and as you find out that answer throughout your learning and education, you will find out, are you an investor or are you a trader? Did you know there are more than 90% trader lose money? 90%. So what makes you become better at your trade? So that's something you have to ask yourself. Many people we hear they say, the moment I bought my stock, it just keep going down and keep going down. What are you doing to make that not to go in your direction? You want to keep making money. So you do not want to be the 90%, the other 10%. So this is where UrbanHood comes in as a non-profit organization. What we do, we offer free education. Many people today are here that that you found out through social media, through friends, or through some of others, the social media we have. We share information, and now the room is maxed out. Every week we do it. During the weekdays also, we offer that a midday and that we meet all 5 days. So today, so many tickets that you shared, but we'll not be able to go through it. We'll go over some of them, and then during our midday, we'll go over. We'll give you an update. When it's a midday, we meet at 12:30 p.m. If you are not in our Discord group, then you may not find all those information. Today in our community, we have over 4,000 members. Over 4,000 members, we cannot put everybody in WhatsApp. Not everyone put in. We have over 15 WhatsApp group. So we decided not to make any more WhatsApp. We are going to put everybody in a platform where that we can support more than million people in there. So Discord is our main platform, most active on the website, and then the room also you're going to see, get the link. Please do join on our Discord. So so this is like what UrbanHood offers, free education, and next what it does, we have a tools for to get the market, live market data, market updated information like Yahoo. Yahoo Finance Premium is going to cost you more than how much you can go take a look. It costs you more than $100 monthly to have that Yahoo Premium, but we have that. We have Benzinga. It's going to cost you more than $100 a month, but being in our tool, you have access to those data. Pinways, Morningstar, and there are so many other products where we know that it's going to help us to become a better investor and trader. That's what we're doing in being part of this. If you're not talking, so can you just mute your line? That way that noise is coming up. So keep that in mind. Just the second thing is that we offer to our members who are serious investor who wants to be part of the tool. You get access to all those information that where we subscribe that pay for the subscription, and at the end the other part is in the money we use paying cost, and then anything left over with UrbanHood, what we do with a non-profit organization, we feed the needy. We help people who doesn't have job or who's going through financial insecurity, help them. And the thirdly is what UrbanHood does, investor and traders community, where, as I mentioned, we have over 1,000 right now, 1,000, 1,100 so the traders in the Discord group. So you get to ask questions to them every day. Like there is nothing stupid. There is nothing. There is no dumb questions. For all of those investors and most of the traders, they are here with a good heart. That they are here to teach you. So our motto is giving you not fish. We are here to teach you how to catch the fish. So here, these three entity. One is UrbanHood, and UrbanHood is all like education, financial education, trading, and the other one is PKQ, or what it offer low cost classes. Where many of you know that we just completed this week 4 weeks of classes, 6 classes, 24 sessions. That's this week. And we have all those classes are on demand. You can see also on our Learning Academy on the website. So our goal is helping you to learn so you can protect your hard-earned money. All right, that's what we do at UrbanHood. This kind of gives you overall, just you can read it. We are a 501c organization. You can go take a look at the website urbanhood.org. Our parent organization is urbanfoodalliance.org. And the vision of UrbanHood is all families deserve happiness and financial freedom. This you can see that what we do every week, we run this program in South Brunswick, New Jersey. So every week, a weekly program, it costs us around over $7,000. Now you do the math. That how does this money come from? It's not just coming from the year. It's a privately funded organization. Our goal is creating the value to the people who is learning, who is growing. At the same time, if you make extra money, we're asking you donate to our cause. So our condition is this, our challenge, that we'll do everything within our power to enable you to make extra money if you are serious enough. If you have to take that action. And many of you already did today, come join us. So you are learning, you are figuring out what's going to happen in market. So you can not only trade with your money for short term, at the same time or long term, your 401k and buy all those advice. We offer free classes, and some of them we are offering through Speak EQ low cost classes. And then after paying all those expenses, then some of the money goes to this cause. So that's give you an idea. This is the big money expo. The seminar is going to coming up soon. You'll see a lot of details when, at what time, how it's going to be happen. The details is still working through the community. This is 2 days, more than 20-30 sessions is going to happen. Sessions around the money. How do you make money? How do you protect money? How do you grow your money? And how do you preserve your money? All those areas you can see that is going to be part of this conference. That many reputable speakers and others are going to come from outside UFA. So that's what I want to share. That those who doesn't know who we are, and then this is the first time you joined, you'll see that in the group that people are going to share with you what we do. And if you, some of you already asked for recording, this recording is going to be shared in our YouTube. So the video you are watching that I shared, it has already subscribe button. You subscribe those our channel. So when new videos come in, these editing videos coming in, you will get notified. Okay. That's what I want to share. Just give you an idea of what we do, and we do every week, especially Sunday night around this time, 9 p.m. to give you perspective of market. This is strictly for educational purpose. And then during the weekdays, that midday market update, some of the ticker we're going to go back and share with you that we do not know what's going to happen, but from 9:30 till 12:30, it gives us enough 3-4 hours time, about 3 hours time that to know what's happening, and then we give you an update what's going to happen another day with the ticker, or anybody has those ticker, hey, want to take a look at it. That service is offered only to our serious investor. As you can see, it's not too expensive to be part of it. Less than $1 a day, you can be part of this, where you'll have not only the knowledge education, you'll be have tools, and you'll be surrounding with people with like-minded. That's all I want to share. Now let's back to you, Delaware. If you can have a few more tickers that people ask for, and then we'll wrap it up. And then we'll take that Q&A. I know I see that there are people some raised question. So we'll let us go through this couple of the sticker, and then we're going to take a question to go to Q&A.
Yeah, I already did.
Okay.
I already took a few. Yeah, so I'm just going to briefly touch on them. So if we take a look, I think the first one I saw, someone said take a look at NEO. NEO is a company that I myself bought last week. It was mainly based on this consolidation that was happening, and then we finally saw an aggressive push to the upside, as you see here. And then I think this is a bullish engulfing pattern that initiated my trade. And obviously I did some more due diligence, but I think that the stock had IPO'd around, and it made new highs around 13.8, and then it also has some highs around 10.67. So my theory is that there's a lot of buyers sitting around these areas, and also a lot of shorts, right? So I think if we can break above these previous highs, I think a lot of those shorts are going to get squeezed out, and we can potentially see a break to the upside. Another thing is, these are my key levels. Because NEO is still a fairly new stock, I mean, it's barely been on the market for a little over a year, so it's hard to kind of find some new technicals. As you can see here, it got a little caught up in this whole COVID-19 drop. And now a lot of people are looking to, I think a lot of people benefited off of this dip right here around this dollar. But if you take a look, I think it has room to 10.67. I think it's going to have some more room to the upside. As far as the technicals go, I mean, let me pull it up. As far as the technicals go, let me remove my... Yeah, I mean, it still looks a little like it's a little overvalued. I think that it's approaching that 70 value on the RSI, but I mean, if you just take a look at the stock recently, this is making higher highs and higher lows, right? I mean, it's kind of following this trend line right here. It's been respecting it, still bouncing up, and it's been making a nice gradual uptrend, right? And I think that this can continue with NEO. Next stock that I want to take a look at is Bank of America, ticker symbol BAC. I think that this has some movement that it can make to the upside, right? I mean, I don't really trade bank stocks or anything. I think a lot of people use these for long-term investments, but on a short-term level, I think if it breaks above this 25.39, room to 26.59, above 26.59 would be the main thing that I would look for to trade it to 27.42, and then to 28.4. And as you can see, right, I mean, if you're a short-term trader, this might not be worth your while, as you see here, just because it's, it's not very volatile. So I wouldn't really touch this. I mean, it's also mid-valued on the RSI. And just like many other stocks, it's kind of just neutral, right? It's kind of waiting for some sort of confirmation, whether it's another COVID wave or anything of that matter. BYND, right? So BYND is something I've been looking at for quite some time. I think it's holding this 156.80 level quite nicely, and also has some resistance overall at this 167. So if it breaks above that, I think it's definitely going to see some new highs, see some recent highs. But above 163, I'd scalp it or day trade it to 165, and then definitely to 167. I think and retest the highs. They did try to retest it this week, but we did see some aggressive selling that did happen. But like I said, it's still using this 20-day moving average as support. If that breaks, it's definitely going to use this 50-day moving average. That's usually how it goes. Boeing, right? So Boeing is something that I'm also, it's also on my radar this week. It's having some consolidation for the past 2 trading days between 184 and 197. It's constantly getting rejected right here. And I think the RSI is now trading near 30. So I think it might have some more room down to this 180-ish area. The moment it gets a little undervalued, I think that might be a good time to play it to the upside for Boeing, right? And these are my key levels. Obviously, I don't think it's going to see another parabolic move. But keeping in mind that I think airlines are also trying to secure another round of sort of financing. I don't know the exact dollar amount, but that's also something to keep in mind when it comes to airlines. But to the downside, I think below 175 has room to 166. Below 166, I think it's going to get bottomed out at 160. I don't think it's going to go below 160, just because that 160 was a very, very strong level of resistance before, which is now going to act as a very strong level of support. That's Boeing, right? 2 more stocks I have here. So CrowdStrike, I think a lot of people ask me about this every week. And I always say, just to remind everyone that my trades or anything that I say right now is based on technical analysis only. And if you take a look, it's been respecting this bounce, these moving averages, right? I mean, just like any other stock would. And the main support that it uses is this 50-day EMA right here. And as you can see, it's currently getting supported right there. If we get a break below that, I think it's definitely coming down to that $97 mark. And then it's going to potentially continue a move to the upside, right? But once again, one thing that everyone is waiting for is some sort of confirmation from the market as far as, any stimulus or any, COVID wave going away. There's just a lot of uncertainty in the market. I think the VIX has also recently spiked up. So a lot of people are still a little bit fearful. So we have to keep that in mind that the market doesn't really have a specific direction. NVAX, I think this is a pharma. I'm not too familiar with this. I think, yeah, something with a COVID vaccine. Yeah, so keep in mind that you can't really do technical analysis on a stock like this. I say this every week when it comes to biotech. That it's difficult to do technical analysis on a stock that's simply news driven, right? Because these things can be up 500 and then be down another $1,000, right? So you have to be very careful when you're trading something like NVAX. So, I mean, if you just take a look here, right, I mean, it gaps up. If another pharmaceutical or if another, health company discover the COVID vaccine, this thing's going to go crashing down to, 0 potentially, right? Just because no one knows exactly, who is working on a COVID vaccine versus who has any results. This is all based on speculation. So, that's something you have to keep in mind. Another thing is that the RSI is trading way over 70, right? So this is already due for a pullback. Yes, they could come in with the vaccine potentially, but you have to keep in mind that this is very volatile. It's very, it's simply news driven, right? I mean, if you look at this, it really had no red candlestick this past week. I mean, it was green, 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 green. You could have bought this every single day and made money. So a stock like this, it's quite unhealthy. Usually stocks should pull back to continue a healthy uptrend, but this is simply news driven. Can't really do technical analysis on this, so I wouldn't really trade this specific ticker as a. So I'm going to take it off my radar. But overall, these are some things I think I can look at this week. But that's pretty much it for this week as far as any specific ticker that I'm trying to focus on. Let me see the chat if there's anything else that I need to. So a lot of people are saying TKAY. I mean, I don't really know exactly what that ticker is, but let's take a look. TKAYY. Just need to.
Okay, let's take 3 questions while you're looking at it, and we'll take 3 questions. So first 3, whoever comes in, and then we'll call it a day.
All right. Yeah. So I mean, this ticker right off the bat, I mean, it's OTC. It's over the, this is something that's very low volume. It's not liquid. So this is not even something I'm going to take a look at. But if anyone has any questions, you guys want to write it. And NKLA, a lot of people are saying NKLA. That's another ticker, guys. That's simply, speculation driven. The stock needs to have more price movement. Like I said, it's just consolidating, and this is one of those stocks that made some moves to the upside, and now it's just bouncing. It's not really doing much. At most, we can say it's consolidating, right? But again, this has simply been news driven right here. It's pure speculation, right? Stock rallied almost to $100, right? From almost $10 a while ago. So I want to see the stock play out more and then develop some sort of technical price movement so I can make a determination of what exactly can happen at different price points. As of right now, I can't really say much. I mean, this is another one of those stocks. Someone saying SMAR. Let's see, what is this? Smart Sheet. Let's see. This specific stock, I mean, I think they recently just took a huge drop from $60 to the downside, slowly recovering. I think this specific stock, I'm not too sure exactly why this happened, but anytime that this specific candlestick happens, I mean, I'm sure there's a reason. And if it's a bearish reason or something, I like I said, I can't make any assumption of what the price is going to do just because this specific candlestick is extremely bearish, and I'm not too sure exactly what's happening, but I mean, I think that it still has more room to the downside as far as the technicals go right now for SMAR. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, that's pretty much it in the chat box. I think I covered majority of the tickers within my initial review. So if anyone has any questions, we're definitely open to that.
Yeah,
but if not, Moshi, you can go ahead.
Unmute yourself and ask a question. Anyone? If not,
Hi, this is Chandru. Thanks so much for having the session. It's very helpful. Just heard like there's a speculation that Microvision, the ticker is MVIS, is going to be merged with Microsoft. I don't know, that's just a speculation, or do you think there's a prospect going forward with that?
MBIS. Yeah. I did not look into it. Anybody in this group knows more about MBIS?
I traded MBIS. So it went from $1 to almost $150.
Okay, so did you hear what Chandru mentioned? That
it's probably on the same speculation that he's mentioning, that Mike is going to be merged with Microsoft.
Okay, I guess we'll find out tomorrow. So before the market.
I mean, it's not probably happening. It's just speculations.
Yep. Yeah, it's a stock. They were looking at the price and the technical doesn't look like it's too promising. We'll see. Second question.
Can you look at RH?
RH. Let's see. Chandru, we'll keep an eye on this, and tomorrow morning we'll let you know in the room that if we have any more concrete information about MBIS.
Sure. Thanks, Mission.
Hey, can you check the WBA Walgreens Boots Alliance WBA?
So let's look at RH.
So I mean, RH, I don't know exactly what this company is, but I think they were hit hard by the COVID drop, and then they had a nice recovery to the upside. So as far as the technicals go for this, what we're seeing is that it's mid-valued, right? So that's something that we're going to see across the board with many of these stocks. They're mid-valued on the RSI. So once again, everyone's a little bit neutral, right? It's not completely bearish, not completely bullish. So I think, in my opinion, I wish I could give you guys a certain, sentiment, but we just have to let the market sort of play out. But this clearly has some resistance around 260. Above 260, I think it has room to test the previous high of 275 potentially. But like I said, this is purely neutral right now. I can't even make an assumption of where this thing is going to go based on technical. Walgreens, WBA. So Walgreens Boots Alliance. Is this not? Let me see.
can just
Yeah. So, I mean, take a look. I mean, this stock, even during the COVID, since the COVID drop, it's just been continuing on this sort of decline. It did have a nice push on the previous closing day, but like I said, it's approaching toward that RSI overvalue. So we might see a pullback. I think the bears are looking to take over again. The bulls kind of got stopped out right there aggressively around this $44 level. So we might see some room to the downside. But like I said, this is one of the stocks that you would need a little bit more information on to determine what can happen. Someone's telling me to take a look at Moderna. Just keep in mind, guys, I'm going to refrain from looking at biotechs just because there's no point of looking at a chart for a biotech, right? It's simply news driven. Anyone can come out and say they're working on a COVID vaccine, they make progress, and boom, overnight speculation shoots the stock up. So keep that in mind. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it.
I have a question.
Can you look at
Srini here?
Okay, he's going to take a look at it. Let him finish what he's doing and one more, and that's it.
Yeah. So this is Srini here. I have a general question around IPO stocks. So what should be the best strategy to get into any IPO stock? Like, do you get in on the first day of the public trading, or do you wait for some time and look at how he's doing?
So if I understand your question correctly, if the stock has IPO'd, I mean, you can buy it like a normal stock the day it IPOs, right? But as far as, many other financial instruments go, if you want to buy a stock that's pre-IPO, you usually have to do it through some sort of private fund or some sort of broker that has access to that. You usually can't do it on your own. But I'm sure, but there's usually some sort of guidelines. You have to be an accredited investor and all that stuff. But that's a whole different story. You won't be able to buy it pre-IPO on Thinkorswim. No, that's what you're asking.
No, his question is, should he buy it from the day one, or is something I think Srini, I'm not sure if you are part of the paid group or not, but in the part of paid group, we have a smaller group of folks who also does some kind of pre-research.
Sorry, I was speaking, got disconnected. So this is Balu. I think his question is towards what time it's recommended to buy IPO stock. On the day of the IPO, or do we need to wait some time, to see the, that's what his question is.
Yes. Thanks for clarifying. That's what we said. We do not. This is all pre-IPO or IPO companies. There is not enough data or information to know should you buy from the day one. But typically, this is what we have seen from other investors or some of those guidelines. Everybody come up on their own, but at least you should, if you know about the company before they go IPO, you heard about it, you did some research. You can, if you have high conviction, you can go the day they go market to get that better deal. Otherwise, if you do not know the company, wait till 2-3 days. In 3 days, see what happens to the price, and then you can decide, if you get on. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Typically 3 days. You should, if you do not know the company, then at least you should give it 3 days. Look at in 3 days how much it went up and down, and then you can decide. Right. Okay, guys, I think the last one you covered WBA. I wanted to thank Delavar and thank everybody for joining us, and we did share a bunch of information on the website. You are welcome to take a look at it, and hopefully that you learn something. As we shared the information, we'll also learn something from you and from Delavar. Thank you so much, Delavar, for your time, and others. Thanks again for joining us. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for watching. Visit our website, UrbanHood.org, and join our community at meetup.com and look for financial freedom for you. Thank you, and we hope to see you soon.